and that's the way we operate and live on this planet. Well, we're cancer to her. We're hurting her badly. If you had access to see the magnetic grids of this planet, what shape they're in, she's a very sick girl. Okay? She's just about to crumble and hit back very soon. You know, we've only got 8.5 years to go till the cycle closes. So it's all got to be said and done before then. And that's fact. And it's a big call what I'm saying here, because there's a lot of people with prophecies throughout the ages and come out with all that. Well, I've got a harmonic equation to prove what I'm saying. We're not just going to throw theoretical hearsay at people. This is what is. And you can't change it. You cannot change or stop this process. Basically, there's a good crop circle design, which is you have one ball there, and you have a larger one here, and another one there. Let me draw that. Okay, what that is saying to you, and this is an absolute now, this is the decipherment of this message, is here we are currently, and this is the higher ascended Lady Gaia on the other side of the sun. She's on the other side. The sun, okay, if you look at all the ancient Egyptian stuff, we've got the sun disk utilised everywhere, okay, because we know, and also the true teachings of Jesus and Buddha, that's why they have the big disc behind them, and in the Hindu religions, okay, it's because that sun is the porthole of the Christ consciousness. Okay, it's the energy of balance that comes in and helps manifest everything into existence, okay. That's where all the energy comes in from. And so what that is saying is, here you have the new Lady Gaia, and here you have the current Lady Gaia, sad and happy. And to get to the new one, you've got to go through the sun. Okay? That's when you ascend. If you look at the Egyptian temples and the South American temples, they all line up with the sun coming up at certain points. Because when you're ready to ascend, you project yourself through the sun. Or what happens is, like an energy comes out, reaches out and grabs you and pulls you through the sun. You go through it. You go into it. Okay? Now to get to this planet, the ascended planet, you've got to go through the sun. Now science will say at the close of certain cycles, the sun throws out a big solar flare, and a big solar flare comes here and fries, you know, the majority of the surface of this planet. That's what science will tell you, limited in the physical paradigm. But when you are an aware being and you are ready to accept and to move into that Christed energy, you will be taken by that energy. You won't be cooked. Okay? You will be transferred through it, out the other side, sped out the other side onto the ascended Gaia. That's what the process is about. Okay? And the people who aren't ready, they'll be cooked. Okay? If they're on that side of this planet at the time when that happens. Yeah. Okay? It's all about everyone's supposed to be in the right place at the right time, and this has nothing to do with fear. I mean, you know, I'm not here making all these predictions of people going, oh my God, this is, you know, all fear-based stuff. Well, it's not. It's when you understand it, you don't get scared because you understand it. There's nothing, once you understand the truth and the processes and the cycles, there's nothing to fear. It's a wondrous. It's like, you could say that March 21 of 2013 is a deadline. That's when the cycle closes. Well, it's not. For me, it's a lifeline. It's a rebirthing. So it's your mindset. It depends how you choose to look at it. Okay, folks? It's really important that you grasp that. It's how you choose to look at it. Whether you want to look at it with fear and negativity, or you choose to look at it with love and positive energies. Look, basically what is, we're interested in what is. A lot of the religious teachings say that there is a God, isn't it, the superior being. And that is true. We are inside a superior being. And then you've got the New Age movement, which speaks of the source. There's only the source, there is no God. Well, that is true as well. They're both right. In truth, what is you take science, which is a very important part. It's the nuts and bolts way of looking at things in our reality. Really just the nuts and bolts of it. And then you take religion, and then you take the cosmos, because we are in an incredible cosmos. You can't ignore that. You can't leave that out. We're part of it. And you gel all three together, and that's what the truth is. They're all right and they're all wrong in certain areas, okay? Because each one wants to be right and say that the other guy's wrong. That's, you know, the mind games that we play here on the planet. It's the way we're conditioned. It's a competitive type scenario. So you take all three and gel them together, and that's the truth of what is in existence. When we talk about dimensional levels, parallel realities, everything is frequency, everything is waveform. And so, for example, you can't see all the radio waves with your own eyes, can you? And you can't see infrareds and ultraviolets and those kind of frequencies, because it is beyond the visual spectrum of our eyes. Our eyes can only see a small slither of reality. They're all in the room with us. You can get a radio here and turn it on, you'll pick up the radio waves. So they're here, you can prove that they're here, you just can't see. And that's the same with extraterrestrial life. It's all out there, you just can't see it because it's just beyond the visual spectrum. And not only beyond the visual spectrum, but also beyond the spectrum of our reality, which pulsates at 144,000 cycles per second, which is the speed of light. That's the holograph. We're in a holograph that pulsates at that rate. And these other parallel dimensions and realities that we speak of lie beyond, you know, the vast majority lie beyond that. And so when you have things like science that say our paradigm of reality is really the speed of light and not much beyond that, that's its own entrapment. It's stuck. Can't go beyond those borders. Now, I'll draw, basically the shape of the universe is not a sphere, and it's a little bit expanded. It's kind of like a swollen Smartie is probably the best way to explain it. So we'll take that sort of like swollen Smartie and we'll just pull it out a bit, because all the layers of reality are superimposed upon one another. When we talk about the sixth dimension, you don't leave here to go to somewhere else to get there. It's right here with us in the same room. When we talk about the seventh, eighth or ninth dimension, same goes. It's all here in the room with us. It's just another frequency. Your atoms need to oscillate and spin at a different rate, a different frequency. And people who levitate, for example, how can they do that? There's been many reports of people walking through walls. Gee, how do they do that? And I know that sounds a bit mad for conventional train of thought, but that's all very possible if you know how to control your being, your body, and alter its vibrational state to get your own atoms to spin at a different rate. Therefore you can then gel in and out of this reality. The military works with cloaking devices which makes things invisible, and that's quite well known. It's no mystery. That's how they do it. But they use technology to do that. Okay, so the basic structure is up here, and I'm drawing it visually. So as you know, these are all superimposed upon one another. This is the best way to present it visually for you. And we know, it being a waveform universe, it's basically you have polarity. So you have, cycles. So you can say that's a positive and negative cycle. That's the way we're used to looking at things. Okay, up here we have the realm outside of polarity, because you've got your two sides of polarity. So here, I suppose we could say that to be negative and that to be positive, if you like. It doesn't matter. We can call that, and you can call that the dark, and you can call that the light. Okay, that's just common terms that we use for two different expressions of energy. Outside of polarity here, it's kind of sitting at the top, is what we call the Christ. Now that's not a religious term.